Hello! Happy New Year, everybody! Now it's time to reflect back on the year 2024, and to start, I am going to talk about the 24 books that I chose to read in 2024. Let's see if I actually got to them all or not. As you can tell by the setup I have back here, these are the books, and if you see the spine, that means I did not read it. If you see the pages, that means I did read it. So let's quickly go through those. I wanted to read The Hen Who Dreamed She Could Fly by Sunmi Huang. I had wanted to read this one with my parents' chickens, but they just weren't interested. I tried to read to them. They would go on the other side of the chicken run, and they just kind of were very skittish and didn't want to hang out with me, so that didn't work out. I might try again this summer, but if not, I don't know when I'll read this, because that was kind of my inspiration for reading this book. The Mech by Steve Cash. I really don't know much about this book at all, and I did not get to it, so. If you guys have heard of this book or read it and you recommend it, let me know. Yeah, I really have no idea about this book. I don't know what it's about. I don't know. Help me, convince me that I should read that one. The next one is Curio by Evangeline Denmark. I love this cover. It's so steampunky. I don't know. I just like it a lot. The colors are very good because they're complementary colors. It's definitely teen fantasy, YA fantasy. I thought I had heard at one point that it was a Christian author, but correct me in the comments below if that is incorrect. I'm not sure. So anyway, I do still want to read this one. Maybe 2025? I don't know. The next one I read was Fatherless by Dr. James Dobson and Kurt Brunner. This one I did read and I really did not like it at all. I give it a 2 stars, so it's one of the lowest of the year. I just felt like it was very focused on, like, because the whole premise is anti-abortion, but because of that frame of mind, it made people without kids by choice seem like they were doing something wrong. Like, not the ones that had committed or had an abortion, but the ones that had just chosen not to have children. It made it seem like those people were doing something wrong. And I didn't like that message. So the next one was The Princess Bride by William Goldman. This one I sort of buddy read with Katie over at Paperbacks and Ponytails because this is her favorite book ever. I really liked this book. The movie was, it's been a movie that I've watched in my life, and it's never been a favorite, but I haven't hated it either. So I guess I knew the story, I knew she loved it, so I really wanted to buddy read it with her, because it's always, I feel like you get a better experience if you buddy read with someone who already loves the book. I think that is fair to say. And I did. I liked this book. I don't know what I rated it. I didn't write it down, but it's on my Goodreads. I liked it. The next book from the Dreamkeeper saga, The Lost in the Caverns by Catherine Butler. I really wish the cover design was different. The art style, immaculate. It's perfection. But the way that the Dreamkeeper saga is such a big header, and then the title of the book is tiny, tiny at the bottom, I don't like that. I don't think that's a good choice. So anyway, I did not read this one. This is book book 3. I have read book 1 and 2, and I liked them enough, but like honestly at this point I don't even remember book 1 and 2, so they didn't stick with me. So I almost feel like I'd have to restart the books to continue the series. And for me, if a book doesn't stick with you, that's kind of an indication that you didn't love it as much as you may have thought you had right out of the gate. Let me know if you guys agree with that or not. The next one was A Mrs. Jeffries. So this is Mrs. Jeffries Sweeps the Chimney, and I wish they had numbers on here, but there are no numbers. I did read the next Mrs. Jeffries, which was Mrs. Jeffries Rocks the Boat. That is number 14, and I actually gave that one a 4.5 star. It's one of my favorite Mrs. Jeffries. So I'm not sure when Sweeps the Chimney comes into the series, but I'm counting this one as read because this meant to just represent the next Mrs. Jeffries that I was at. So I did read that. The next one, The Impact of a Single Event by R.L. Pendergast. Pendergast. Man, I struggle with this name. Anyway, this has been on my books to read in the year of lists for so many years. And again, I did not get to it because I have to read this one in, like, with my eyeballs, not my earballs, and because I can't find an audiobook for it. And I'm a slow reader, so I usually... oh no, and it's in first person. Oh no, oh no. I don't know what to do about this. I really want to read this one, but I don't like first person. I don't know what to say about that one, guys. This one, Praying for Your Husband from Head to Toe by Sharon Janes. I'm sad to say I did not read this one. I do need to, though. It's a very important topic, and I am going to prioritize it for the new year. This year. Then we've got A Face Like Glass by Frances Hardinge. This one I did not get to, but I do still want to read it. I got this one from the Dollar Tree one time. It is in third person, so that should be fine. I have never found an audiobook for it, so I will have to read it with my eyes. But yeah, the cover is just super intriguing that I want to read it. Then Blue Screen. I've already unhauled it. So this one by Dan Wells, I DNF'd this one. I don't remember why I DNF'd it, but regardless, it's off the list. I attempted it. Moving on. The Weight of Air by Kimberly Duffy. I really enjoyed this one. This one I rated 4 star. This is a Christian historical following characters in a traveling circus. And it deals with some heavy topics, but not as, how do I say this? It deals with mental illness in the form of like depression and stuff, but more so from the side of the family members, not the person dealing with it. So if that makes sense to you, it's not really a first person account of dealing with mental illness, but the family dealing with it, you know? So I really loved this book. It was very good. Robinson Crusoe, I actually did read. I don't know why the spine was out, because I did read it. I gave it 3.5 star. It was kind of like middle of the road. A little bit better than middle of the road, I guess, because 3 is middle of the road. But it's just survival story on an island, essentially. I think it could have been written better, but also it is a classic, so it does kind of have that more dry storytelling to it. So yeah, I got this one down at least. Dial M from, I don't know how to say this. I'm not French, so I cannot speak this word and not sound silly. So, by Stephen Clark. I really don't know anything about this at all. I assume it has something to do with a murder mystery because this is murder in French. So, yeah. I haven't read it. I think it is in the secular market. I don't know the content. Do you guys think I should read this? Have you read it? Let me know your thoughts. The next one is Burden of Proof by Davis Bunn. This one, my husband and I had watched the TV show Burden of Proof a couple of years ago. I don't think it is the same story. Like, I don't think they're connected or anything. Just happen to have the same name. Davis Bunn is a Christian author. However, this one, I don't think I tend to enjoy, or at least I'm not gravitating towards law-based storylines. If it has to do with a lawyer or a trial or something like that. I don't think those really stand out to me much, so I think that's why I never really wanted to pick this one up, because I think it has to do a lot with that. So, have you read this one? Do you think I would like it? Let me know. Priceless by Joel and Luke Smallbone of For King and Country. This is based on the movie. So the movie came first, then they wrote the book. I did read it first and then I watched the movie. So yeah, I really liked, I mean, it deals with human trafficking, so it's not a likable topic, you know, but the story I enjoyed. Oh, even that doesn't sound right, but whatever. It was, what words can I use, guys? I don't know. Anyway, I gave this one, what did I rate it? 4 stars. So there you go. That'll tell you what I cannot put into words. 4 star. It is, it's a very, I want to say similar because the topic is similar to Dangerous Beauty, but there are definitely some differences, but also some similarities, and I definitely enjoyed Dangerous Beauty more. So if you want to read a Christian fiction book about human trafficking, both of them I would recommend, but this one more so. Then again, I've already unhauled it, so Leviathan Wakes by James A. Corey. I also DNF'd this one due to content, so I kind of expected that with this one, but well, it was a good thick science fiction chunker that I was kind of looking forward to, but also kind of knew in my head that I probably wouldn't get through it because of content, and I was right, so oh well. The next one is The Search by Carol Pfister Olvera. Okay, so I really like backlist books. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the idea of like people have forgotten about them, it's a story that no one's telling anymore, you know, something like that. I don't know. But I really want to read more backlist books this year because honestly the new books are very hit and miss for me. I don't love jumping on bandwagons of like hyped books. I don't know what it is about my personality that doesn't love that, but oh well. I wanted to read this one. I still want to read it. I just never got to it this year. Then we have The Book of the Dun Cow by Walter Wangerin Jr. I've been wanting to read Walter Wangerin Jr. for basically my entire booktube life. And I still haven't done it yet, and I didn't read this one, and I wish I would have because I have good feelings about this one. I have good feelings about Walter Wangerin Jr. in general. Hopefully I'm right. I guess I'll just have to try this coming year. Another one was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I also unhauled this one. I did not try this one, to be fair, but I have watched the movie, and quite honestly, as much as like I didn't hate the movie was fine, I just don't see myself enjoying reading that story. Does that make sense? It's a very sad story. It's a very talking about grief and how to deal with grief and how this child is dealing with grief. And I just don't really, I'm just not there to read about that right now, right? I think that's fair. So I know in my head already that I wouldn't enjoy that experience, so I'm just gonna unhaul it and let it go. The next one, A Curious Tale of the In-Between. I love this cover so much. It's so weird and a little bit spooky, and it's middle grade. I want to read this one. Why don't I ever read this one? It is not in first person. I have no other reason why I don't read this one. I should read this one. This is another one, Dauntless by Dina Sleeman. Like, I really want to read this one. I was on a live with some of my friends, and Christy kind of alluded to the fact that this one wasn't awesome. I don't think she hated it or anything, but in comparison to some other books, she was like, that one's not gonna live up or whatever. I can't remember what exactly she said about it. Correct me in the comments below, Christy. What did you say about this book? But Melanie has said she really likes this book. So I'm kind of like, where am I gonna land with this one? I love the cover. I love the idea of the book. It is in third person. So I just need to know what I think about this book. A Long Obedience in the Same Direction by Eugene H. Peterson. This one I really enjoyed, actually. This one I rated 4-star, and this was a very good book. I'm so glad that I found this like beautiful edition at the thrift store, because it's just pretty. I like it a lot. So it's a good book. I listened to the audiobook, so I didn't do any annotating, but yeah, this is worth a reread for sure. That was Christian nonfiction, by the way. Lastly, Taliesin by Stephen R. Lawhead. So I never knew how to say the title until I listened to the audiobook, and they say Taliesin, so that makes sense to me. Let's go with it. This cover does not match the rest of the covers that I have of the books in this series, so I need to get the correct cover for this book. But I enjoyed this. As soon as I was done this one, I read book 2 and 3 immediately after. So when that happens, you know that you've enjoyed the story and it's a good one. And so this is a retelling of the Arthurian legend, and it begins with Taliesin, who is Arthur's, I guess, essentially grandfather. So it starts a couple of generations before Arthur is born, but it's very good. I really enjoy this series. I highly recommend it, and I can't wait to continue it. And I believe that is it for my recap of the 24 books that I wanted to read in 2024. It was kind of, I guess, maybe half and half, and I thought it went okay. Like, I don't usually read all of the books that I plan to read in that year, like those lists. I don't usually read all of them, and I don't really expect myself to read all of them, but they do sit here as a reminder, like, oh, maybe you should check this book out, you know? And I gave like a few of them 4 stars, so that's excellent. Like, that's a good rating. So I'm glad for that, and a couple I could get off my shelves to make room for more new books, so we're happy about that. Let me know how you did for your yearly challenge last year. Did you do a yearly challenge? Are you going to do one this year? I'm still on the fence. It's January 1st today, and I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I will do a reading challenge for 2025. Because I do plan in May, which is my birthday month, I do plan to make a 40 books before I turn 40 list. So I'm wondering if I should like I don't know, do I set aside the 25 books in 2025 in lieu of that new list, or do I just have both lists going? I already don't do TBR videos because I don't make TBRs anymore. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think about lists, like essentially TBR lists, whether it's seasonal or for events or whatever. I don't know. For me, I am such a mood reader. I don't want to read something I have to read. I want to read what I want to read. So if I've put this on my list and then 2 weeks later I don't want to read it, I don't want to read it. I'm not going to read it because I'm probably not going to enjoy the experience. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Let me know what you think about these. If there are any that I didn't get to that you really think I should give another chance to, yeah, let's just talk about books in the comments below, and I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely happy new year. Bye!